Told you before here on the show, I've never really understood it with celebrities, why they simply don't tell the truth. Have you noticed a couple of years back, all celebrities were all over the media with their mental health problems, their issues of struggling with all the mega salaries and mansions and servants and cars picking them up and makeup and all the freebies that they got. No, they were struggling far worse than you and I. Oh, they didn't know how they were going to manage. And then, of course, when that failed, they decide, of course, to move into different areas to gain attention. Suddenly they're gurus, wellness being people, almost telling you exactly where you've been going wrong with your life. And if you'd have listened to them, then of course, things would have been totally different. One of the people that's been incredibly vocal and suddenly decided to defect, politically at least, into another sphere, which has baffled a lot of people, is the former number cruncher from the ITV Channel 4 daytime show, Countdown. Of course, now, if you remember, Carol Vorderman had to quit the show because she demanded $1 million a year, and the producers decided that Carol wasn't worth it, so they dumped her. Don't think she's ever quite got over that. Now, though, she's facing the axe from something else. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much for your company today. Lovely to see you, whatever you're doing. And I know I often say this, but keep safe, keep warm. And if you're too warm, make sure you cool down. I know a lot of people have been telling me, Neil, we've got a heat wave out here. Well, it's coming here, you see. That's weather, isn't it? That's the seasons. It's a little bit chilly here today, but it's a nice day, actually. So far, no rain. It's going to be a blessing, hasn't it? Carol Vorderman, late last year stepped down from her role in BBC Radio. Love that phrase, don't you? Step back, step down. Basically, BBC Radio said if you don't stop posting all of those terrible messages and getting into antagonistic arguments on social media, it doesn't really represent the BBC guidelines. Carol decided to step back, even though she loved the job so much. Now she's been swept up by LBC. That's another, in many people, very strange radio station to work for. It's littered with political MPs who should be representing you but are picking up $5,000 a show, like David Lammy and Angela Rayner, the deputy leader of the Labour Party. How they find the time to do all the work for you and I have really got no idea. But you see, Carol was very proud of this particular role that she had, the very first ambassador for the Royal Air Force, right? Proudly stood there in a uniform, all that sort of stuff. But after the backlash, and this is where the line, isn't it? If you go woke, you go broke. After the backlash that happened with her and the Conservative MP Greg Hands, where he basically threatened her, with legals, then that was simply too much. It wasn't necessarily, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, representative of what the Royal Air Force wanted. But guess what? Carol hasn't been fired. She's apparently stepped down from her role. Fascinating that, isn't it? Others inside the camp at the Royal Air Force basically said we'd had enough. It was badly reflecting on us. It's not good for your image. So while all of these people want to tell you their one story, remember, they're going on the airwaves of LBC Radio, which is owned by Global Media over here in the United Kingdom. If they can't tell the truth to you, or indeed themselves, what chance have they got with a few dwindling listeners that they have on their radio station every single week? It's a thing that I put out there, simply because I think it's important. Part of the reason for this channel was to bring you the truth, the stories that we have that are unfiltered. I tell you what I find out. I'm not on anybody's side. I have no personal dislike for Carol Vorderman. I've met her, and I would just leave it there. A bit of a challenging woman is what I would say. But the bottom line, as ever, is they can't tell you the truth. So why on earth would you tune in or indeed buy some kind of insurance plan from her if she can't be honest with herself? Either way, the Royal Air Force are being more than honest. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.